Alright, welcome back to Klinga Games. Today is the first week of the Quantum Battle Association Season 1. My opponent is the Porygon Z. I'll go over my team at the end of the battle. For now, I'll go ahead and just put in the link code and get started. Alright, here we go. So this is the Cincinnati Crowbats versus the Porygon Z. Alright. So we are going to go ahead and select our team, and we're using Mono Team, but it's not Monotype because so I need to change that, but it's my draft team. Let the battle begin. Let's give them with a good luck, have fun, and let's get going. Alright, so let's see what they brought. So they did not bring Clefairy, that's huge, okay. Metagross, Garchomp, Urshifu, Spectrier, Lando, and Klefki. Alright, so pretty good lineup here. I'm not too terrified of anything. My big concern was that Clefairy with its redirection. So let's go ahead and do Indeedee, Porygon Z, with Alakazam, and what do I want in the back? I think I want I think I'll do Registeel in the back. Okay. First game, let's do this. Alright, this is exciting. This may not be a good week for me, but I'm still excited to play. Alright. So let's see what they lead. Klefki, Lando. Alright. So let's get that psychic terrain up on the field and make something happen. Alright. So I think we just follow me, and we just max, or do we want to max? Yeah, I think we follow me, and let's just go ahead and max, and Hailstorm into the Lando slot. So let's start the reign of terror that is Porygon Z. I've never actually used Porygon Z. I remember in the banned list, Porygon Z was easily the best Pokemon, and I refused to use it because of that. But now it's not the best Pokemon, so I'm really excited to use it. As terrible of logic as that is. Oh, they're maxing. So they're probably going to light screen this turn, is my guess. Probably light screen with Clef. And I'm going to guess a max Quake by Lando as well. Try to bolster up their special defense. Or they could go with an attack on Clef. The good thing is that regardless, Indeedee is going to stick around because we got a Focus Sash on it. So they're either not going to get their light screen up. Oh, this could be Assault Vest. I didn't think about that. But they could really be banking on the building up their special defense here to survive. There's the light screen. Okay. Quake into the Indeedee slot, who actually takes that. So Indeedee actually survives that. That tells me their Landers does not have too huge of special defense. And it's Life Orb. Okay, so they are not Assault Vest, but they do have Light Screen and a special defense boost. Let's see how much this does. Still quite a bit. Okay. Oh, I didn't think about the hail. I could have knocked myself out with hail. That was really stupid of me. Okay. So I think we just follow me here, and we... So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we follow me and Hailstorm again. There's a good chance they max guard here and knock out my Indeedee with Clef, but if that's the case, I can just bring Alakazam in. Airstream, okay. So that's Fly, because I don't think Landorus gets any other physical flying type moves. So what's their Clef doing here? So there goes Lando, that's good. I was really worried about Metagross as the max option. That's the one I prepared for all week. Landorus I'm not as worried about because Porygon Z gets Hailstorm. So what's Clef doing here? Just Dazzle, okay. I can live with that. Okay, the good thing about Klefki is it's not very threatening on its own. It's very, very passive. So, what I'm thinking we do here is we bring in Registeel. I think we save Alakazam for the back. Yeah, alright, so they brought in Urshifu. So I was fine bringing in that Alakazam now, but this is fine too. Alright, so what we want to do here is we are going to... I think we're going to Shadow Claw into the Klefki, and we are going to Max Strike into the Urshifu. Because if it attacks, then we get the KO with the hail damage, and if it protects, then we get its speed dropped and we can take it out next turn. And they're going to attack into the Registeel slot, who takes that like a champ. I love my Registeel. Alright. So there's the Steel. There's the Max Strike, not Steel Strike. What am I thinking? Okay. Oh, I need to write these moves down. Urshifu has close combat. Ooh, we get the crit. That's what I was hoping for with Shadow Claw. Iron Head is also neutral damage, and it's stab, but Shadow Claw's got that raised crit chance, so I thought that might be fun. One important thing to note is that you cannot protect in front of Urshifu, and so I had to make sure that we went ahead and went for an attack. So what we're going to do here is we're going to Shadow Claw and Shadow Ball into the Metagross slot. No, I think we're going to split our damage here. It could protect, so... yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and split our damage here. Get rid of the Klefki. Okay. So Porygon Z gets the Shadow Ball off. Oh wow, that doesn't get the knockout. That's really crazy. Alright, that might put us in a bad situation actually. But they just go with the Iron Head into Porygon Z. I'm fine with that. And they just go with Dazzle, which Registeel should take. Yeah. That's a knockout. Ooh, lucky with the crits today. Alright. Let's go ahead and bring in Alakazam. Alright, now Alakazam's got a pretty good moveset for this week, so I'm pretty happy bringing it. Let's not reveal anything. He knows I've got Expanding Force, so let's just go with Expanding Force. I don't think I saw what Klefki's last move was. Maybe Screech or Metal Sound. I know it gets both of those. He's taking a little bit here. He's probably thinking about the next game. That's usually smart. If you already got a loss on your hand, just let the timer run out and think about your strategy. So I'm gonna go ahead and shoot him a GG and a good luck. All right, so that's 1-0. All right, that was a fun game though. That Landorus building up its special defense worried me, so I'll go ahead and take the card. Play with the same rules, waiting for the other player. Alright, so same team. Alright, let the battle begin. Alright. So I don't think there's any reason to change up what we did last time. So we're just going to go Z and DD with Zam and Steel in the back. I do feel bad about getting those crits, but you know, you pick a move like Shadow Claw because it's got the high crit chance. Technically I picked it because it has a good matchup against Metagross and Spectrier, but it also has a good crit chance. So, kind of feel bad, but at the same time, it's an advantage to using a move like that. So we did not reveal that we have Foul Play or a Choice Scarf on Alakazam. So that's good information to keep to ourselves and make it use to our advantage this round. So the reason I chose Foul Play and the Choice Scarf, I chose the Choice Scarf to outrun Spectre with Alakazam, and I chose Foul Play entirely because of the Weakness Policy Metagross option. If Metagross gets a Weakness Policy up, it's nearly unstoppable, but Foul Play uses your opponent's attack stat instead of yours, so it's a really, really good move against stuff like Metagross that has sky-high attack. So Metagross, Spectre. So this actually is the lead I was expecting last time. So here's what they're going to do. I'm going to call it now before they do it. They're going to Bulldoze with Spectrier, and then they are going to attack with Metagross. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to Phantasm into the Metagross slot, and we are going to follow me. Do we want a helping hand? No, we want to follow me. Okay, so we are maxing first. That means they are either not maxing this turn or they're maxing Metagross because Spectre would have gone before us. Which means my assumption may be correct. I don't know if you've seen my videos, but I did a similar strategy with Registeel, where I used Bulldoze with Spectrier, because exactly the situation. A lot of people assume Spectrier is the threat because it's so fast and has such great special attack, but it really serves more as a support pick. So this is a very interesting strategy that I really like to see in use, just not against me. So there's the Bulldoze. There's the Weakness Policy. Everything's going according to plan. Here comes the Steel Spike, as expected. Ooh, they're raising their defense. That kind of hurts my calcs a little bit with this Foul Play tech. I kind of forgot about raising its defense with Steel Spike. It should still work, though. Okay, and then we go with a Phantasm into the Metagross slot, and that almost gets the KO. So I knew it wouldn't get the KO. That's something important. Every calc I did told me that I would not be getting a KO there. So let's go ahead and bring in our Alakazam, and let's reveal this tech and hope we can win the game, because once this tech is revealed, they kind of know everything I've got. So let's go ahead and foul play into Metagross. Well, so they're in health that's easily takedown with foul play. So there it is, and there's the KO. Cool. So we're going to about the Steel Spike, Bulldoze. Shadow Ball. As expected. Okay, so now we're in a situation where this should hopefully put us at 2-2, but I don't know. I'm really, really hoping they're not Focus Sash on Spectre. And they are. Ooh, that's horrible. That's really, really bad for us. Huh. So that hurts us a lot. That might win him the game right there. Maybe I should have gone... I should have attacked Spectre with Alakazam. I should have gone with a Expanding Force there. That was bad on my part. Alright, so there goes Registeel and Landorus. Okay. Here's what we're going to do here. We are going to Hailstorm and Protect. Yeah, we're going to Hailstorm and Protect. The problem is they outspeed both of my Pokemon here. So if I don't call this Protect right, then I lose. And we go to game 3. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's really good. Okay. So they went the Will-O-Wisp, Earthquake. So they're actually going to knock out their own Spectre here. And Porygon Z survives. That's huge. Okay. Oh, man. That was a big, big turn for us. So here comes our Hailstorm. Alright. So it also has Will-O-Wisp. And that is Earthquake on the Quake. Alright. So that's big for us. I don't know what they'll have in the back. It could be Urshifu, based on the way they were playing. I think their plan was to weaken Registeel. Yeah, okay. And they bring out Urshifu. Alright. So, let's go ahead and... I'm just going to go ahead and Ice Beam and Iron Head here. Both of these moves should take it out, I would hope. Alright, let's see which one they choose to take out. Or no, Iron Head will not take it out. If they focus into the Z slot, they could set themselves up for a win here. Urshifu could win this 2v1. That's a little bit scary. Alright. Let's go, boys. So close combat into the Z slot. So that's the correct call. Oh, but they do lower their own defense when they do that. So that's really important. Okay. Alright, so I don't remember how well we survived the last close combat. So hopefully we survive this. Ugh, this is scary. Alright. We revealed our foul play strat, which is not great if we go to a game 3, because then they'll be on the watch for that. Alright, Urshifu, please don't kill me. I'd prefer if you didn't kill me. Alright, Registeel, hold on. Attaboy, Registeel. Oh my god, I love Registeel. Alright, and Iron Ahead has 100% accuracy, so this game should be over. Fingers crossed. Oh my god. Whew. Oh my god. Oh man. Really good game. He just texted me, he almost read the scarf on the Zam. That would have won him the game if he did that. That was a really, really fun game. That team gave me a lot of fits when I was preparing. Oh man. Clefairy was the thing that scared me the most, so I was really happy not to see that. Oh man. That was a really good game. I really enjoyed that. So really good game to my opponent. I think he's going to do really, really well this season. He's got a really good team. It matches up really well into all the other teams, including my own. So I think he's got a really good season ahead of him, and I'm just really happy I was able to pull this out. Really close games both times. And yeah, I'm proud of my team. I'm really proud of my Registeel for hanging on with 9 HP there. Oh man, Registeel's quickly becoming one of my favorite Pokemon. That was just amazing. I'll sign off now, and I'll record my my team recap at the end just to show what I was running. And yeah, just again, a really good game to my opponent. So that was a really fun game. I'm really proud of my team. So now it's about time we revealed what I was running on everything and go over my breakdown for all my Pokemon and why I picked each one. So let's go ahead and get started. The first Pokemon is the Porygon Z, which I nicknamed Z-Bomb, and it's got a Life Orb. Max speed, max special attack with a modest nature, with adaptability as the ability. The moves are Hyper Beam, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball, and Nasty Plot. Nasty Plot, I really was trying to decide on this one or Protect. It didn't come up in this game, unfortunately, but I figured that if I was in a spot where Indeedee was safe from getting knocked out, I could set up a Nasty Plot with Porygon Z and then really run through the teams. But turns out I didn't really need it. Its special attack was plenty to get the KOs that I needed. The only time it really would have helped is against the Metagross, but it had Spectre next to it, which was more threatening. So I was not comfortable setting up Nasty Plot. So that didn't really come up at all. But the movesets were Hyper Beam is just the best move that Porygon Z can learn, especially maxed. Ice Beam took care of Landorus and Garchomp, and Shadow Ball took care of Spectre. And it was super effective against Metagross. I switched from Dark Pulse because I was worried about Clefairy. And if Clefairy was there, Dark Pulse is not very effective, but Shadow Ball is normally effective. So that's why I chose Shadow Ball over Dark Pulse. That, and he didn't have any normal types, so he did not have any immunities on his team to Shadow Ball. The next Pokemon is Nurse the Indeedee with a Focus Sash. Almost max defense, max HP with some special defense, with Psychic Surge as the ability. Protect, Expanding Force, Helping Hand, and Follow Me. Really, you only saw me use Follow Me, and that's really the only one I really planned on using. Indeedee was really there to take one attack, go down, and let Porygon Z get the main knockout that we would need to win the game. And it really did a good job of that, so it did exactly what I needed it to do, and it did exactly what I drafted it to do. This Indeedee had the Tower Master. I don't know if you saw that when I sent it out. The Tower Master ribbon. The third Pokemon I chose was Ludicolo with a Mystic Water. Modest with max speed, max special attack with Swift Swim as the ability. It's got Protect, Hydro Pump, Ice Beam, and Energy Ball. So this was the other mode that I could have run with this team. Oh, I forgot to give PP ups to Hydro Pump, so I'm really glad I didn't have to use this mode. But this was the other mode that I picked for this team. My opponent also had Incineroar, on his team. So if I saw Incineroar, Landorus, and Garchomp and no Metagross, then I would have been running my Rain mode, which Ludicolo is a really fun Pokemon to use for it. It's not as good as Kingdra in terms of pure offense, but it's got some pretty good bulk, and its typing is very, very solid defensively. So I was kind of excited to use it. I'm sure I'll use it at some point this season. I mean, Ludicolo is just a great Pokemon. And I caught this one with the Sodden mark, or the Rainy mark, so it's Ludicolo the Sodden, which unfortunately you did not get to see come out. The fourth pick was Zeus the Thunderous, with the Black Glasses item. Max HP, max defense with a little bit in special defense, with Prankster as the ability. Its moveset was Protect, Rain Dance, Foul Play, and Thunder. So this was the other half of the Ludicolo lead. It would have done Rain Dance turn 1, and then supported with Thunder, and I gave it Foul Play to take care of Metagross if Alakazam was not a good bring for some games. Or I ran this calc as well, because if Metagross is maxed but does not have Weakness Policy procced already, then the Foul Play does not get the KO. So one other lead that I was considering, which I didn't use, was to double Foul Play into Metagross turn 1 and get the knockout. But I did not need to use that. Unfortunately, I didn't really get to use Thundurus at all. I really love Thundurus. It's one of my favorite Pokemon. But I'm sure he'll be making plenty of appearances this year. He was my first pick for a reason. He's very versatile, and this is not the last time we will see him. And I gave him the Veteran, the Skillful Battler ribbon, which is Zeus the Veteran. Next up was I wouldn't say the MVP, but he was a very solid contributor this week. Spoons the Alakazam with a Choice Scarf. Max Speed, Max Special Attack with a Timid Nature, and Magic Guard is the ability. I thought about giving it Inner Focus, but I figured since I was running Psychic Terrain, then there wouldn't really be any Fake Outs to worry about. And I gave it Expanding Force, Dazzling Gleam, Foul Play, and Trick. This moveset this is probably the one I spent the most time thinking about to try and maximize it. So Expanding Force is just Alakazam's best move normally. In Psychic Terrain, it's 120 power plus stab that hits both targets. It's just a really amazing move. The reason Alakazam isn't more popular is because it has paper thin defense and steel types are running rampant, which resists Psychic. But it's still a really, really fun combination with Indeedee, and I'll probably be bringing it more weeks. Because like I mentioned earlier in the season, not everyone's going to have Metagross. So Alakazam will have plenty of times to shine. And it's really, really fast. My opponent also had Spectre, so there are two big things that hurt me this week is that they have Metagross, which resists most things that Alakazam can do, and they have Spectre, which is one of the few Pokemon that can outrun it. So most weeks we will not be running into that problem, and hopefully Alakazam can just run wild. But I gave it Expanding Force. Dazzling Gleam was for Urshifu Dark. One thing to note about this draft league is that Urshifu Dark and Urshifu Water are considered two separate Pokemon, so they were drafted separately. So I knew my opponent was using the Dark variation, so Expanding Force wouldn't work on it, so I had to give it Dazzling Gleam, which is 4 times effective, and a special move, which is just guaranteed to knock out Urshifu unless it's Focus Sash. Even if it's Assault Vest, Dazzling Gleam from Alakazam still knocking out in one hit. Foul Play, you actually did get to see me use. I was really, really proud of this tech. Normally, Metagross is not threatened by Alakazam in the slightest, but Foul Play lets it really threaten Metagross in a way that my opponent probably wasn't expecting. So that was really fun. I was hoping I could take it out from higher HP, which is a really stupid thing to ask for, but still really fun tech to use. The last move was Trick. So Trick is really fun. If you've seen my Little Cup videos, you've seen me use Switcheroo with a Choice Scarf on Electrike. It's a really fun move with Choice Scarfs because you can give it to a support Pokemon that usually doesn't carry any good attacking moves, and even if it does, it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And you can basically force them to just use one move over and over again, which may not be very ideal from the opponent. I use it a lot to trick it onto Trick Rumors, but my goal here was to trick it onto Metagross to take away its weakness policy if I got really desperate. But that didn't actually come up, but it was nice to have in the back in case I needed it. And then the last Pokemon on the team was probably the most clutch Pokemon, Steely the Registeel. This is the same Registeel I used for my Registeel video. If you haven't seen that, you can check it out. It's a pretty fun team, and it really shows Registeel is a monster with weakness policy. I didn't really get to use it this week a whole lot. It did get its weakness policy off, but hopefully coming up I can use kind of the same strategy my opponent used with Metagross, where I can just bulldoze, get the weakness policy off, and then just let Registeel run wild and just become unkillable with max steel spikes. So that's something I'm really looking forward to using this season, unless you're my opponent, in which case I will not use it, trust me. Max HP, max attack with 1 point in special defense, with Clear Body as the ability. Protect, Iron Head, Ice Punch, and Shadow Claw. Iron Head is its best stab move. Ice Punch was there if I wanted to max it. It was there for Landorus and Garchomp. And Shadow Claw was there for Metagross, Spectrier, and mostly those two, yeah. And then also against Klefki. And it's also got a critical hit raised chance. It's one of those moves that I don't know what the percentage is, but it's got like a much higher percent to critical hits than most moves, which you actually saw me use to great effect in the first game, where I got a critical hit against Klefki and against Metagross, which again, to my opponent, I apologize for that. You don't like to win with crits, but I did pick Shadow Claw in part because of the critical hit raised chance, so it is slightly validating to get those crits to win the game. But my opponent played a really, really good game. He had one of the teams that I was most worried about. He really used some good strategies. Unfortunately, he got the crits in the first game, and in the second game, I had that foul play tech ready. That he messaged me that he thought Alakazam could have been scarfed, but he wasn't sure. So I kind of caught him off guard with that. Made him play a guessing game, and so I got pretty lucky in that second game too. Not as much, not in like concrete ways like critical hits, but I got lucky with some hidden techs that he probably was not expecting, especially the foul play on Alakazam. So really, either one of us could have won this week, and I was just lucky enough that it was me. So next week, my opponent will be the Irish Ivies, and I will go over a quick overview of their team. So I'm just going to kind of do the same thing I did last week, where I talk about each Pokemon and just have the most common set according to Pikalytics up on the screen. So the first Pokemon he has is Cinderace, which has an amazing ability called Libero. It's very fast and it's got a great attack. Libero changes its type to match the move that it's using. So basically every move is stab, and you never can really tell what's going to be super effective against it. So it's a really tough guessing game with Cinderace, and it should be pretty difficult to deal with. The next Pokemon he has is Comfey. Again, these are alphabetical order, not order drafted. So this is not the way he drafted them, but this is the Pokemon that he has. So Comfey is an amazing support Pokemon. It's got an ability called Triage, or Triage, however you pronounce that. And basically all of its healing moves have priority of 3, which is equal to that of Fake Out. So with its speed being 100, it's going to outspeed most Fake Out users, which is kind of crazy. It's got a really good ability called Floral Healing, which heals the target by 50% of its max HP. It cannot target itself. It can target, I think it can target enemies. So I'll have to look up if that is affected by Follow Me, because if it is, then boom, that's our strategy. It also gets Draining Kiss, which is technically a healing move because it recovers damage. It recovers part of the damage dealt. So it can be used to set up weakness policies without really any effort at all. And I think Follow Me is also +3 priority. That might be it. It might be Fake Out has a lower priority than 3, and Follow Me is 3. So I think with its speed, it can actually outrun Follow Me and just ignore it and get the weakness policy off. So that'll be something I need to look at as well, because this Pokemon could give me a lot of issues. It also gets Ally Switch, which is the bane of my existence. And the reason I need to watch out for the Follow Me Drain and Kiss interaction is because the next Pokemon it has is Dragapult, which is just amazing. I've used it before. It's really, really good at attack. It's got an ability called Clear Body. Same one as Registeel, same one as Metagross, that prevents the stats from being lowered. So it's another really good weakness policy user. It's very, very fast. It hits really hard. So it could give us a lot of issues if it sets up. The next Pokemon is Drifblim, which has the ability Unburden. It's another, this, according to Pikalytics, is not the most popular set, but it's another common user of weakness policy, where you proc its weakness policy and then Unburden goes off, so you get +2 attack, +2 defense, and you double your speed all in one turn. So that's something we need to watch out for. Even if it's not going to be weakness policy, it can use a seed, especially where I run Indeedee, to set up its own. It can set up its own Psychic Seed, use its item, and then get the Unburden boost, which is if you use a held item or if your held item is lost, so including knockoff, then your speed doubles. It's important to know that if it switches out and switches back in, it does not keep that boost, so that's an option. But it gets Tailwind, which with the Unburden could give us a lot of issues. And then it gets Will-O-Wisp, which could be an issue for Registeel. Acrobatics, which just pairs really well with Unburden. And it also gets Hypnosis, which is terrifying. You never want to get a hit with a blind Hypnosis, which is only 60% accurate, and just have that ruin your game. So we'll see how that goes. The next Pokemon I have is Howcha, which is another Unburden Pokemon. So they must really like that ability. But Howcha uses Unburden a little bit different. It mostly uses Coaching, which also pairs really well with Dragapult. So I'm really going to have to consider if I want to run Psychic Terrain this week. It's usually my best option, and it's really good for redirection. But with these Unburden Pokemon, I don't want to just set up for them. So, and then Howcha also gets the worst move in Pokemon, Ally Switch. So I'm thinking my opponent's going to use it on at least one Pokemon, and it's going to ruin my day, and I'm going to be very upset, but I'm going to play through it. The next Pokemon I have is Mudsdale, which has an ability called Inner Focus, which makes it immune to Intimidate. It actually has 2 abilities that make it immune to Intimidate, and its third ability increases its defense by 1 every time it's hit by a move. So that's another thing we need to watch out for. They've got a lot of really interesting Pokemon that have interesting ways of setting up, and they're all pretty varied. So we're going to have to really keep an eye out and make a versatile team that can cover their options. Besides that, Mudsdale's really slow, so it could be a Trick Room threat if they run that. And then its attack and defense are really good, so it could be a serious threat to my team. Next up is Rapidash G, which I don't think they're gonna bring. I'll be honest with you, but it also gets Hypnosis. It also gets Trick Room, and its stats are kind of just average across the board. So I don't think they're going to bring it. I think they've got better options for everything Rapidash can do to my team. So I don't really expect to see it. But if it does show up, I'm going to be surprised. The next up is Sabli, which is actually one of my favorite support Pokemon to use, because it gets a move called Quash to pair with Prankster. So Prankster is if you're using a status move, like a move that doesn't cause damage, all those moves get a priority of 1, which is like quick attack. So they'll go before most moves. It gets a move called Quash, which whatever Pokemon it targets, that Pokemon will go last. So with Prankster and with Quash, then it can basically choose a Pokemon to go last regardless of its speed. So they've got me in kind of a pickle here where to prevent Quash, I would have to run Psychic Terrain. But if I run Psychic Terrain, I'm at risk of the Unburdened Pokemon. And then Sabli also gets Shadow Sneak, so it can also proc Drifblim or Dragapult's weakness policies. The third to last Pokemon is Selazzle, which is very, very frail. It hits pretty hard. It's pretty fast. But it's got a pretty interesting moveset, and it's got Oblivious, which makes it immune to being taunted. So it can be a pretty good support Pokemon. I think it's underrated in terms of support. We were going to run it in our Monotype League, but that didn't continue. So I'm interested to see how they use it, because I had some interesting ideas of how to use Selazzle. Next up is, I believe this was their first or second pick, Tapuffini, which is one of, if not the most popular Pokemon in the format right now. It is just insanely bulky. It sets up Misty Surge, it sets up Misty Train with Misty Surge, which makes all Pokemon touching the ground immune to status conditions. And then just with its natural bulk, it can set up Calm Minds and really just kind of run through teams. So it's going to be very concerning for us if we see Tapuffini, which we most likely will, because it's either it or Dragapult are the best Pokemon that he's got. And then last up is Togedemaru, which is one of my favorites from Gen 7. It's a really good Lightning Rod support. It's got Fake Out, it's got Nuzzle, which can be very annoying. And then it's got decent attack, decent speed, but it's kind of frail. I don't really see a lot where Lightning Rod is going to help them this week, so I don't know if we're going to see it, but it'll be interesting if we do. All right, so that's week 1 of the QBA in the books. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will be posting these videos every week for the league into the playoffs, which the playoffs is a format where everyone makes the playoffs and the top seeds get a bye week. So regardless of how the rest of the season goes out, even if this is my only victory of the year, we will be in the playoffs. So I'm really excited to see where all that takes us. And then this weekend is another Little Cup tournament that I will be playing in. Hopefully going to do a little better, made some adjustments to my team. So if you're interested in that, if you like the previous videos, then be sure to subscribe for more, because there will be more Little Cup VGC content coming, and there will be more Draft League content coming. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you next time. Thank you.